welcome you for our conversations and coffee today on this 14th day of August 2025. I'm Ellen O'Shaughnessy, coordinator of the program. We celebrate today our guest artist, Matt Munhall. Hey, stand up there, Matt. Yeah. A pianist, composer, recording artist, and performer. Matt is from Columbus and has performed at 200 plus shows annually from 2000 to 2018 throughout the United States and Germany before becoming director of music at St. Francis de Sales in Newark, Ohio. Acclaimed musician and Nashville producer Brad Jones said of Matt Munhall is musically gifted, unapologetically sensitive, unflinchingly honest, poetically tough. And if you don't believe me, just listen to his records. Matt's made 6 original records that stand the test of time and appeal to all ages. Some notable events of Matt's musical career include being the guest star on 16 episodes of PBS's Piano Guy, having Charlie Sexton, Bob Dylan's favorite sideman and guitarist, play on his 2014 release, 700 Miles, being a guest star on Songs at the Center, another PBS syndicated show featuring songwriters, and receiving honors and awards for community service in and around Columbus. From his years of service in nursing homes, in his high school years at Bishop Watterson, to being center stage at the Bitter End, New York City's oldest rock and folk club in Greenwich Village, Matt has presented his uniquely honest and real performances with all his heart, soul, and spirit. Matt, wonderful to have you today, sharing with us your heart, soul, and spirit.
Thank you, Ellen.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Ellen.
Take it away.
Once there was a way to get back homeward. Once there was a way to get back home. To sleep, pretty darling, don't you cry. And I will sing a lullaby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. Sleep awaits you, little child. Sleep, little darling, don't you cry. And I will sing this lullaby. Oh boy, someday you'll carry that weight, you know, carry that weight for a long time. Oh boy, gonna have to carry that weight, you're gonna have to carry that weight for a long time. But sleep, little darling, now don't you cry. And I will sing this lullaby. you. Thank you. What has happened down here is the wind has changed. The clouds rolled in from the north and it starts to rain. And it rained real hard and it rained for a real long time. Till there was 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline, Louisiana. Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. 1927, Coolidge come down in his railroad train with a little fat reporter, notepad in his hand. And the president said, "Little fat man, isn't this a shame? What the river's done to these poor old crackers' lands." Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, oh, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. 75 years later, the river rose all day, the river rose all night. Some people got lost in the flood, other people got away all right. The river busted through the wall, the same wall in Plaquemine. There was 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. Louisiana, Louisiana, they've been trying to wash us away. They've been trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. Still trying to wash us away. Yeah, they've been trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Thank you. That first song was by the Beatles. It's part of a medley of songs on one of their records. It's called Golden Slumbers. The second song is by Randy Newman. It's called Louisiana, and I probably get what it's about. He's a pretty good writer. I'd like to play you one of my songs. It's called Walk Into the Light. Set off on my way, I got a little left today. I keep following the sun, falling down beneath the trees. Inside my heart is stirring, feel the earth turning. Left my home, my city behind. I got another way, walking to the light. First my left and my right. I'm on the path, even through my darkest night. Keep walking to the light. Feel it all inside. You're not alone. You know you're gonna be alright. Keep on walking to the light. We live in a world full of trouble. Billions of people sifting through the rubble. I keep on howling at the moon. She whispers back at me. Child, look into your nature. Rediscover the light. It's right there inside of you. But it sets you on your way and walk into the light. First you're left, then you're right. You're on the path, even through your darkest night. Keep walking to that light till you feel it all inside. You're not alone. You know you're gonna be alright. Keep on walking to that light, even in your darkest night. Deep inside of your mind, you know that the stars will align. You know the sun's gonna rise, and you'll be walking to the light. First you're left, then you're right. Stay on the path, even through your darkest night. Keep on walking to the light till you can feel it all inside. You're not alone. You know you're gonna be alright. Keep on walking to the light. Walking to the light. First you're left, then you're right. Keep on walking to the light, even when you're fading out of sight. Keep on walking to the light, even when you're fading into the night.
Matt, share with us for a moment what music, soul-felt, heartfelt, spirit-felt, does for you. How do you call us to music?
Well, music has always been a refuge for me from everything. It's also been a way to celebrate. I haven't really got there yet today. I will. I'll get there. It's a way to capture and to experience very specific feelings that are really hard to capture. Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, I had music all around me, and it was the best language I had ever heard.
sometimes words just can't do the
In
trick.
high school, you served in nursing homes.
Yeah,
What were you doing? Playing the guitar, singing for the people?
playing the piano and singing.
Piano too?
Yeah, and I
Oh.
saw the joy it brought people. Again, it's a language that transcends, age, socioeconomic status, race, whatever. Music is it's an equalizer, and it's in all the years of performing, all those tens of thousands of hours I spent playing for people and then taking a break and talking to people and getting to know how people heard my music in a multitude of ways and what it meant to them has been a really beautiful experience. It's also a way to not only communicate what I'm feeling or going through, but it can be a way to gather people together to communicate something together. I work for a church now, and I'd say my number one goal is to get everybody together, because that's quite an amazing, transcendent experience to hear everyone with you in accord with one another, even though we're all different, even though we're in the same church and everybody's coming at it from a different place. But when it comes to the music, there's a unifying force there. And I feel like as a child, even though I had a household that stayed unified, there was plenty of discord. But music in my house was always a positive, whether it was singing Christmas carols or just listening to the 7 piano lessons that came before me. Being the 8th child, every Saturday we had piano lessons, and I would sit underneath the basement stairs where you could hear the music from the piano, and I'd sit there in my little desk and draw and listen. It was just like music just seemed like something that was on another level than anything else. Oh yeah, I know Sonia.
I think she used to play at the top, but she's in a retirement home and she plays there now, but I don't know what one she's in. Do you know?
Yes, I used to play there for about 4 years. I played there, Wexner Heritage Village.
Okay.
I hope I'm not violating HIPAA. Sure. Sonia Modes used to, just to finish, but please remember your question. Sonia Modes, one of her funny and beautiful qualities is she was always trying to set people up to get married, like the character in Fiddler on the Roof, And she was also into astrology. So she combined her Jewish matchmaker skills with her astrology skills, and it was quite interesting. She is wonderful, yes, and nobody knows how old she is, I think she might be getting up to that biblical age, 700 or 800 years at least.
So that descending chord sequence, the descending chord sequence in the bridge of that last song,
Yes, sir.
was so original. Do you have any thoughts on did you have to work on that, or did it just come to you? That was really a cool. You might want to play it again because it was
It's
really,
in the key
really
of D.
cool.
It's in the key of D, and then, at the end of that second chorus, walk into the light. So what that is basically you're in the key of D. Good ear, by the way. And there's a thing you can do in any key where, let's say, I'll just address it musically since you know what you're talking about. You go to the sharp 5 of whatever key you're in. So the 5th in the key of D is A, right? So the sharp of that would be B flat. And you can make sounds like this, which you've all heard. You can go. And then at the end of the song, most of the time is when this happens, it's a dramatic finish. Have you probably heard that before? You know, like if you're singing America the Beautiful, and then at the end, you know, sing. So instead of that, I just picked that, and then I went the other way. And then this is an accidental chord too. So I basically went into the key of B flat for a moment, which is the same thing that ending of a song does. It temporarily shifts keys. So once I got into B flat, even though I'm still in the key of D, I wouldn't have, you know, if I ever had actually written it down, I wouldn't have put a key change. It would just be a section of the song that was in a different tonality, you know? And so when I got down to here, I had to play E flat major 7, and then D minor 7. So, and then to switch back, I just G over A, and I actually played the wrong chord when I sang. That's the right chord. I think I played this. Yeah. And actually, I'll be honest with you. When I was demoing those songs in Nashville, the producer, let's say 6 months before the record, I went down there and we were just sitting in a room and talking and playing the songs. And he goes, I had the bridge, and he suggested I was just staying here. And then, but he suggested going all the way down. Thank you. Thanks for the great question. Thanks for the good question. I have to remember to speak into the mic.
So just real quick, when you were talking about the spirit and transcendence, someone once said, next to prayer, music moves the soul most. I think you say it better than that. It's kind of your way. You know, music is prayer for you, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and another person said you pray best when you don't know you're praying. You know, I talked to a lady, she swam a prayer. She was a swimmer. I like your style.
Well, let's continue to hear your spirit, heart, and talent.
I don't ever come into a gig with a plan, by the way. Even sometimes with my band, like we used to play 4-hour gigs, and Jack, my drummer, someone would say, well, what's your favorite song of Matt's? And he goes, it's called Follow Me. Because I don't think about it very much, but this is another song by Randy Newman, and I think you might know this one. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When that road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, you know. You got a friend in me. 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 You got your troubles, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, let's see this through. You know, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Now some of the folks, they might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger, stronger too, maybe, but none of them, they'll never love you the way that I do.
It's me and you as the years go by. Our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. Oh, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me, boy. You got a friend in me. Yeah, I don't want to run out of gas, you know, halfway up the hill. Oh, no, okay.
How old were you when you started piano?
I don't remember.
Do you hear that question? How old were you when you started playing piano?
I really don't remember. I could tell you when I started playing the piano a lot. When I was 12, I'd say, is when I really was on fire. Up until that point, it was just, I had the lessons for 2 years. And then the piano teacher we had was getting very elderly. So she had to stop. But I had one older sibling. Everybody could play a little bit out of the 9 of us. But I had one older sibling who played very beautiful, like jazz standards. And stuff like that. And she played, and my dad would sit there and watch her, and I was very, my dad was hard to impress, but he was impressed with that. And it seemed to be a calm place for him, which was also something he wasn't so good at. I'm trying to remember your question. But when I started to hear piano players, singers that were, they didn't play like that. They played more like, you know, jazz, blues, things like that. And my ears started to be able to hear that. Then I was like, I want to do that, you know? And also pop music. And I think maybe when I started to like girls, it might have ticked up a little too. Because I needed some attention. Still do. Good question. I had actually, let me finish one more part about that question. When did I start? I think we're always, I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I think we're always starting in what we love. If you think about it, you can point to milestones where you're like, at that point I started this. At that point I started this. But it's all music for me. And I've never stopped learning. Like I started taking organ lessons and like pipe organ lessons in 2016. I went to Capitol to study jazz when I was 27. I had already been playing professionally for 7 years, but I wanted to learn how to physically compose music on a piece of paper instead of just in my head on the piano. So when did I took classical lessons when I was 17 to learn how to read, because I couldn't really read. I always faked it. I would read a couple notes in the right hand and fake the rest. So you're kind of always, I'm at a point right now where I need to figure out how to start playing the piano again. So maybe that means something to somebody. Yes, sir.
How hard is it to come into this way of expressing yourself at like 60 years old, 65 years old, and you haven't been playing?
The question is, how do you get started playing the piano if you have never played?
Correct.
20 minutes a day, fundamentals, scales, chords. Buying some, or go online, watch tutorials. I mean, it's never been an easier time to learn, to get materials to learn. My son does it with electric guitar. I mean, he's amazing because when I was a kid, when you got the music for a song, if it was like Rocket Man by Elton John, for example, you would get like, that's what the sheet music would say. But that's not what Elton John plays. He plays. So that's called, if you had see that on music, that's called a transcription. It's a specific arrangement, meaning, so that level of piano playing or music playing now is easier because there's people online showing you exactly. In fact, I was on a show PBS, Ellen mentioned, back in 2004, 5, 6. And I would play songs on there, and they had a camera on just like it is on the internet now. But it was like a live show, and they put out, they would raise money for PBS by putting out DVDs, and they'd be on the PBS during their fund drives and stuff like that. That was called The Piano Guy. But I'd say the number one thing is get an instrument that sounds good. You can get a pretty darn good keyboard with action. Action meanings you got to press the key. It's not too easy to press. I'd say you can get them online probably for $500, or you can get a brand new one for $1,000. That's pretty darn good. You might even just get lucky and go online and find one for real cheap. Or if you have room for a piano and you feel like paying the $250 to move the piano into your house, you might get a free piano. So, and then 20 minutes a day, that's how it works. Identify what you want to play and search after that, and practice the fundamentals 20 minutes a day. And if you sing, that makes it even easier because that's how I started. I didn't have to read all the notes because I could just play the chord and sing, play the next chord, sing. And then through doing that every day, you start to make your arrangements more complex. Like, for example, this is simple, right? You could just start like that. You don't even have to do this yet. You could just do, or you could even just go. And sing it, if you're a singer. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. It doesn't sound bad, does it? No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Simple change again. Imagine all the people living for today. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'm good on that one. Yes, ma'am.
Don't you think it helps to come from a musical family?
Absolutely.
We have these girls at church. There's 3 of them, and they were in the World's Children's Choir.
Okay.
And they are really good. And the middle one was my favorite, and she had the lead in Mamma Mia at Thomas Worthington High School.
Okay.
And she was second in the state, and she got to go to New York. And now she has her own band. And like I say, she's my favorite, and I'm going to try to get her band to come over to the senior living place, Harrison on 5th, to play for us some night. But anyway, she's just delightful.
Your question and then your example was that isn't it easier to have grown up and being surrounded by music? Of course. Yeah. And everybody knows, 100 years ago, there was more pianos than there were, probably more pianos than there were refrigerators 100 years ago,
I had piano lessons when I was little, and I took I was in the 5th grade, but my fingers weren't big enough to make the reaches, and I kind of lost interest.
So this is another point. She said, when I was a kid, I took piano lessons and my fingers weren't quite big enough to reach some of the chords that were in the music I was playing. I think now, again, with the internet, kids have so much more breadth of things they can play, because it doesn't matter how big your hand is, they don't have to play Rachmaninoff, or Beethoven or Mozart or some big pieces,
Black and red books, and that's what everyone played.
Yeah, Thompson. Yeah, so a lot of these piano teaching methods, they were set up to get you to play classical music perfectly. Well, I would love to play classical music perfectly, and I did take those lessons for a couple of years from a guy who went to Juilliard, and I worked on it until I got a few pieces good, and it taught me a lot. But that wasn't where I was aiming. Let's see. I'll play a song I wrote called "When I Was a Kid," which goes back to a lot of these questions we've been talking about. When I was a kid, I didn't know it, but I did. When I couldn't show it, I kept it hid underneath them stairs. You'd find me underneath the stairs when I was a kid. I heard my sister, sorry. My sister's fingers on the keys, the wind in my window's tree when I was a kid. Underneath my family tree when I was a kid. Now I'm a man, I come to find the same old pair of hands, a different minds inside of them. I got a whole new set of plans. I could pick up on the stuff, woo, knew when times were tough. I couldn't wait to take a puff when I was a kid. And I knew when I'd had enough. I couldn't wait till I grew up when I was a kid. Sorry, I forgot a little bit of that. I think the line I forgot is I heard the fingers. It's about hearing my sister playing. That's, yeah, among other things. All right, let me just play a classic good song for y'all. This is probably one of my favorite songs. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white,
the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. They are so on the faces of all these people passing by. I seen friends shaking hands. They say, hey, how do you do? Maybe they're really saying, I love you. And I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful, wonderful world. Oh, 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 yeah. Thank you. Grab your coat, get your hat, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? Oh, and a happy tune is your step. Life, it could be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. Man, I used to walk in the shade. It's almost like I had the blues on parade. What's the point of being so afraid? I gotta turn it over, start over. And if I ever get to keep 1 cent, I would be rich as the Rockefellers. There'd be gold dust at my feet. I'd be on the sunny side of the street. like you got the blues on parade. Why are you so afraid? Wake up, come on, get up now. Yeah, make yourself a few little cents. Pretend you're rich like the Rockefellers, like there's gold dust at your feet. You're on the sunny side, man. Fetch it. Be on the sunny side. Go fetch it. Oh, the sunny, sunny side of the street.
Very happy to be here. I don't play these kind of gigs that much anymore because I don't really advertise, and I'm not out there 4 or 5 nights a week and working at the church. I've taken on a lot of administrative roles, and sometimes my brain's switched over to the manager side. And I miss doing this, so thank you, Ellen, for having me. And I got a
Delighted
couple
to
more
have you.
songs, I think.
Oh, yes.
I got maybe 2 or 3 more songs. I'll tell you this, if I want to have fun and be free, I'd prefer to play in the keys with less black notes most of the time, unless you're talking about certain types of songs, like that's actually a lot of, it's all the sharps. So that's like kind of the hand position. So like, if you look at your hand, you got this finger and then these two, it should be like holding a grapefruit, you know? So the keys that are like that, you can't see it, but basically my hand doesn't have to move around. It just goes, that's the key of B. So this song fits well to my hand. If I really want to get busy, C is obviously all natural. G, D, A. For ballads and things like that, I think the flat keys are nice, like B flat, E flat. Sometimes F, it's got 1 flat. Sometimes F is nice for like, I don't know, like a rock ballad. But if I'm really messing around, I'd say C, G, or D. You know.
For your voice?
Oh, I see. Well, you know, I've never been that. I've always tried to sing things in the way they were recorded. But sometimes, once in a while, I will change it down a little bit. But I have a pretty good range. But like some of Paul McCartney's music, for example, or because Paul McCartney doesn't do like what Elton John does. He does do falsetto, but he can hit the high notes like, I forget what key this is. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love. No, that's not the key. Maybe I'm amazed. Anyway, maybe I'm amazed. That song, man, he really hits it. And he's hitting it with full voice. I can't hit that note, so I might move it down a little bit, you know. And at church, I changed keys because it's better for the congregation. You know, they're not going to be able to hit some of the notes. I once had someone tell me, female voices are better for congregational singing. And then I've had like 100 people tell me like, it's so easy to sing along with you at church. So, you know, you got to consider the source, I suppose. I think different keys bring out different ideas. You know, just the way they sit in your hand. Now, guitar, you know, I play guitar too. You can just capo, you know, and that brings out a whole nother flavor. But I like to play in a bunch of different keys. I mean, if it's something like the Ave Maria, you know, I have my key that I do it in. you know, something very like, or the Our Father, like something that's a grand piece. I wish I had one here to play for you, but I pick my own key on that. But if it's a pop song or folk song that I've heard Bob Dylan do, or if it's a Frank Sinatra song, I'd rather do it in the key that it was written. Or not written, performed in. You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. The moment that you speak, I wanna go play some hide and seek. I wanna go and bounce the moon like it's some toy balloon. You and I, we're like a couple of tots. You should be running across the meadow, picking up all of them forget-me-nots. Come on, babe, make me feel young. Make me feel like this song should be sung, like this bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I hope I feel the way I do today. 'Cause you make me feel so young. Just like a couple of tots, we're running across that meadow, picking up all of them forget-me-nots. Come on, I wanna feel young. I wanna feel like this song should be sung, like this bells to be rung, and a wonderful flame to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I wanna feel the way I do today. Oh, you make me feel so. You make me feel so. You make me feel so young. Thank you. This is for your hobby. I gotta do it.
Oh, this is for my hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. Regular crowd shovels in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Oh, la di di da di di da, da di di da da da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight, for we're all in the mood for a melody. and you got us feeling alright. I'm just gonna skip to the last verse because I think she's ready to shut it down. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday. Manager gives me a smile, 'cause he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. And the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar, they put bread in my jar, say, man, what are you doing here? Whoa. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight, for we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Matt Munhall, we thank you so much. What a gift to us today. Soul felt, music felt, wonderfully communicating.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.